Welcome, this is our Thursday, June 23, 2016 edition of the Government News Brief. In the news, opening of the telecom sector to bring benefits to all, fire service training medical technicians, and major works slated for roads and bridges in the town of Lethem. I am Azim Khan with the details of these and other stories. Stay tuned. Thank you for staying with us. Here now are the details. Opening up of the telecommunications sector in Guyana will be beneficial to citizens, the government and all stakeholders in the industry, says Minister of Public Telecommunications Cathy Hughes. Details in this report.
Minister Hughes told the Government Information Agency that the increase in spectrum recently allocated to the two major telephone companies in Guyana has allowed them to raise the platforms and levels on which they operate. This has resulted in Guyanese now accessing 4G, the fourth generation of telecommunications technology.
I know that they're still testing the platform, they're still implementing, bringing new equipment in to develop the 4G network, but at the end of the day, we're going to see improvements whereby the consumer would be able to download, and I've had reports of this already, on your phone now. You are going to be able to download at faster speeds, documents, a wide range of other things.
Minister Hughes says that the sector's development will put government in a better position to offer its services to the people, therefore improving its functions. This, the minister explained, is the mandate of the Telecommunications Ministry along with the e-governance unit.
And think about all the agencies, the NIS, the tax office, GRE, all of those agencies, the e-government and telecommunication has a responsibility to help them develop the types of services and to include ICTs in the provision of those services. So that's why I say that this legislation is really going to be revolutionary.
Minister Hughes adds that the Telecommunications Bill No. 15 of 2016, when passed in the National Assembly, will see the establishment of a telecommunications agency. The bill was presented to the National Assembly on May 24, 2016. It was subject to extensive consultations. The bill is expected to be debated at the next sitting of the National Assembly, scheduled for June 30. Government News, Glendon Greenwich.
Residents of Hururu Mission in the Berbice River were trained in safety measures that must be observed when traveling on the river. Details in this Glendon Greenwich report.
Primary and secondary school students of Hururu Mission received life jackets and were taught the importance of adhering to safety measures when traversing the waterways.
We see them paddling, little babies with another small one, and they just go merrily along, but they don't know the danger. But we want to bring the safety aspect to you and let you know that wearing a life jacket is very important when you're traversing the rivers.
The distribution of life jackets and the training session were accomplished through collaboration of the Maritime Administration Department and Olden North carriers. The use of a life jacket on the waterways is one way to ensure safety of passengers. Vessels also need to be outfitted with proper equipment.
Because of the height of the barge and the way they don't see, when they're using the radar, they will not depict the small boat immediately or what's coming. So from your side, you need to play a big part of it with the safety as well. When you're going around a bend and two vessels coming together, with our tugs, we got communication by radio. So we would communicate with the vessel coming, or they would announce. But like these rafts, some of them you will see they don't have any communication. That's where the problem will arise. They come around the same turn, and if they didn't communicate, you know what happened? Terrible catastrophe will happen.
The Maritime Administration has embarked on a safety campaign to deliver training and life jackets to hinterland communities, particularly in areas where children traverse the river to attend school. Government News Brief, Glendon Greenwich.
The Guyana Fire Service is training emergency medical technicians as part of its Emergency Medical Services Unit. More in this Tiffany Rodius report.
There are 30 persons undergoing a 6-week training at the Project Dawn training facility to become EMTs. The Ministry of Public Health is providing the training of the EMTs as part of a collaborative effort with the Guyana Fire Service, says Fire Chief Marlon Gentle.
In essence, a new arm of the Guyana Fire Service will be created, a specialized arm of emergency medical technicians. They will be supported by, of course, the requisite equipment, ambulances and other first aid basic medical life support equipment.
The Guyana Fire Service is currently outfitting fire stations for this new arm, Gentle says.
We are now in the process of developing those fire stations so that they could handle both ambulance services and the normal firefighting duties. We are looking to have initially at least 5 to 6 ambulances for the rollout. We already have 2 in the Guyana Fire Service system functional, and we are hoping to procure 2 more from our budgetary allocations this year.
These EMTs are part of an Emergency Medical Service, or EMS, pilot project for Region 4. The EMTs are expected to begin work by October, Gentle says. The fire chief added he would like to see at least 3 EMTs per fire station. The Emergency Medical Services program was announced by Minister of State Joseph Harmon at this week's post-cabinet briefing. The aim, the minister said, is to have within 15 minutes patients picked up and taken to a medical facility. For the Government News Brief, I'm Tiffany Rogers.
The Ministry of Social Protection will be signing a Memorandum of Understanding with UNICEF and UN Women for support to finalize Guyana's first national gender policy. The national gender policy will steer the mainstreaming of gender issues in the public sector and offer guidance to the private sector. It will provide for greater opportunities to secure women's independence, greater opportunities to study and work and to excel. This process began in 2015 when consultations were held targeting persons on the coast. Consultations will be conducted in hinterland communities to ensure that the indigenous peoples have an input and are fully knowledgeable on the policy. The Surama airstrip in Region 9 was on Monday recommissioned after it was resurfaced. Residents were encouraged to be more aggressive in pushing tourism. Here is that report.
With the recommissioning of the resurfaced airstrip at Surama, Minister of Indigenous Peoples Affairs Sidney Alikak says that it can boost tourism in the region. Residents were urged to take full advantage.
Tourism, you have to get aggressive. Come out of the box, climb on the hills, and look down to see what you have to manage. We have a beautiful surrounding here. See how we could market it. So tourists buy packages in the thousands. So it would justify how we could open up.
However, to encourage tourism, the airstrip must be maintained according to the minister within the Ministry of Public Infrastructure, Annette Ferguson. She says that a technical team will be visiting the airstrip this week to start an assessment. The team will be addressing issues such as lighting and fencing, among other issues.
We will give those monies to the village councillors so that you, the people, can maintain your airstrip. It's a way of creating employment and also empowering you, the people. So I trust that with the months ahead, we will see a much more collaborative effort between the Ministry of Public Infrastructure, Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs, and even the region to ensure that all of our age homes are properly maintained and are made manageable for you, the people, to use.
The airstrip was constructed on a budget of over $5 million by JR Ranch Incorporated Construction Services. The Hinterland Airstrip project is a small part of a 10-point plan proposed by President David Granger for the development of the hinterland. Isaiah Braffett, Government News Brief.
Major works are slated for several roads and bridges in the recently established town of Lethem. Details in this report.
Coordinator of the Work Services Group in the Ministry of Public Infrastructure, Jeffrey Vaughan, says a series of rehabilitation is scheduled to start in Region 9, Lethem Access Road and bridges shortly. This is after inspection would have been carried out.
We will have to do a lot of leveling of the road and also grading and shaping So those are what will be done. In terms of the bridges, it can be replacing some of the stringers, replacing decking. Where we have to do wing walls, we'll be doing wing walls.
The Region 9 Road Rehabilitation Project is one of several scheduled to start in the hinterland regions. The road projects will start with the main access road. $1.7 billion has been allocated from the 2016 budget for upgrades to the hinterland roads.
Most of the area you would have known that during the rainy period what will happen is that because some of these roads might not have been asphalted surface, it's hardcore surface, yes, but it's more lateritic type of material that is being used there. And during the rainfall and vehicles trafficking, you find that it will have some amount of erosion and create potholes.
The rehabilitation works will result in easier access to Lethem and other hinterland communities and also serve as a cheaper method of traveling to the region.
To bring the road to a level where traffic would be flowing much more smooth and we wouldn't have much hiccup in terms of persons getting their produce in and out of these areas.
Similar works for other hinterland regions 1, 7, 8 and 10 are scheduled. Several other bridges and drains will also be rehabilitated as part of these regional projects. For the Government News Brief, Seneca Thorne reporting.
That concludes today's edition of the Government News Brief. The details of these and other stories can be found on our website. Stay updated, subscribe to our website and YouTube channel, and follow us on Facebook. The Government News Brief is a production of GINA. Do join us again tomorrow for another edition of the Government News Brief. Thank you for watching.